You tell coach it's your fault for making me feel different.
Welcome into Herman Athletic Center on the campus of William Peace University. Darren Vaught with you on the Pacers Sports Network for this USA South Conference bout between your William Peace University Pacers and Huntingdon College. Entering the contest, 9 wins, 8 losses overall in the season, 6-4 in the USA South. Meanwhile, for the Pacers, 7-10, 3-6 in USA South play on a 5-game skid, the last 3 of which have come with 4 or 3-point deficits. So looking to get off the schneid. Each of these teams a close loss in their last bout as the tip at center court comes down from the hand of Trey Bryant to John Ingram as the Pacers, donning their all-white uniforms, operate on the basket to my left. Swung around to the left side, Don Tyrell up to point guard, Mikhail Gaylord, along starting with them, Trey Bryant, John Ingram now with it on the right wing, and they're joined by Camden Ferguson. Ingram tries a pass inside to the block to Trey Bryant, and it's stolen away all by himself in transition. James Harris puts it into the lane and dumps it in off the glass for the first score of the game. 2-0, Huntingdon leads, and a full-court trap. They get the steal and the dunk with 2 hands. Gaylord coughed it up. Mikael Woods with the slam on the other end for Huntingdon, who leads 4-0 early, not quite a minute into the contest. Huntingdon in their all-reds against the Pacers offense. Quick pass to the left wing. Trey Bryant fires up a 3. It's off back iron, no good. Rebounded at the 3-point line by James Harris. Harris now dribbling with his left, pulls back toward midcourt for Huntingdon. Woods with it underneath to Harris on the block, a little inside-out game. Harris tosses it up and it rolls in and out off the far side of the rim. Bryant the rebound and the outlet to Gaylord, who sprints down to the other side of the floor. 10-footer floater in the lane, tipped in by Trey Bryant, but offensive interference the call. Bryant skied over from about the free throw line and dunked it in with 2 hands as the ball was rolling around the rim. Basket no good, and it goes back to Huntingdon with 18 minutes, 30 seconds left to play in the first half. 4-0 the score. Pacers trying a half-court trap of their own, and they force an errant pass down toward the baseline. Last touch by Woods, and out of bounds to give it back to William Peace. The Eagles now back into that full-court pressure. Inbound pass to the near sideline. Cam Ferguson bounces it towards center court. Don Tyrell, who triggered it in, gives back to Ferguson as they cross the timeline. Bounced to the left corner. Ingram catches, one-handed pass lazily up top, knocked away, and rolls out of bounds at the far baseline. Both Gaylord and the defender Isaiah King, who initially got a hand on it, went chasing it on the other side of the floor. It goes back to William Peace in their backcourt with just 15 seconds on the shot clock. And Trey Bryant will inbound the basketball with 18 minutes, 10 seconds left in the first half of action here at the Herm. Gives to Gaylord, and the Huntingdon defense backs off. So now Gaylord against Isaiah King. Dribbles to the left, gives to the left corner. Ingram fires up a 3, but a heel was out of bounds at the sideline. It rolled in, but another negated basket for William Peace, and it's still 4-0 in favor of the visitors, Huntingdon. 2 minutes in here in the first half. Trey Livingston, the senior, inbounds it to Harris to bring the ball forward for Huntingdon. Now to King on the left wing. Pick and roll action. Finds Mikael Woods on the baseline, who can't get the layup to fall. It's off the near side of the rim. Bryant with the board and a quick outlet to the far sideline. Ingram now has it in the front court for William Peace. Bailed out by Mikael Gaylord towards center court. To the right wing, Cam Ferguson. Back to the left side. Gaylord's 3. Skips over the cylinder. Strong rebound by Trey Bryant, who is fouled immediately after he reels it in. Mikael Woods charged with the personal. The freshman forward, 6'7", 195 pounds, out of Gadsden, Alabama. And Woods will check out of the contest, as will Livingston. So a lot of size going back to the bench for Huntingdon as Charvez Hobson and B.J. Barker, the freshman, their leading scorer, check back in. Pacers inbound it. Gaylord gives to the right side. Pump fake on the three by Ferguson. And a kicked ball on his pass intended for Trey Bryant to the opposite block. Stops play. The blown whistle means that it goes back to William Peace. They'll toss it in on their far sideline in their own front court. So Gaylord to trigger it in. Bounces it to Bryant at the top of the circle. Handoff to Gaylord. Passes to the left wing. It's off of Ferguson's knee. Ends up back in the hands of Gaylord. Now just 10 on the shot clock. Gaylord gets a high screen from Bryant. Deals to the right. Ingram pump fakes. Penetrates to the left wing. Three! Mikal Gaylord is in. First bucket of the evening for the Pacers makes it 4-3. That came 3 minutes into the contest as we're now under 17 until the half. And Jason Dudley gets set to check in for the Pacers. Shot knocked away on the other side by the Pacers. Huntingdon with the rebound. They go outside to the top of the circle. And a penetrating B.J. Barker commits the charging foul. And it goes back to William Peace, as I believe it was Don Tyrell set up in the paint to take the contact. Tyrell checks out, Jason Dudley in, who's seen increased playing time as the season has gone on. Does a lot production-wise without scoring the basketball a ton for William Peace. Great execution on the pass forward to Gaylord to break the press to the near corner. Bryant tries to skip one in the lane to John Ingram, who was trailing and cutting, and it's kicked away out of bounds, last touch by Huntingdon. So underneath their own basket, the Pacers trigger it in. 16:34 left in the first. Ferguson on the inbound floats it outside the circle to Mikal Gaylord. To the right side, Ingram dribbles through his legs on the wing against Keontae Pines. Up top to Gaylord, right side, catch and shoot three from Ferguson, off back iron and boarded by King. Here come Huntingdon. On the other side, skipped to the right block. Awkward layup attempt by Pines is up and over the rim, and a far court pass to Trey Bryant is received, but he falls to the ground as he receives it. And a whistle blown, as I believe he traveled with it as his feet slid and he fell to the ground after catching the full court pass. 16:07 on the clock. The ball goes back to Huntingdon. Trey Bryant checks out of the game. Paul Dunlap in for the Pacers. Trey McClain in at point guard now for Mikal Gaylord as well. Barker across the timeline, second leading scorer for Huntingdon, as I alluded to earlier. Just over 10 points per game. Into the corner. Now they dump it in on the left block, back outside. Keontae Pines, pump fake on a three. Kicks it back out to that same right wing, and a three-point shot attempt rattles in and out from the hands of Damian Madison. Pacers with it now on the other end. McClain gives it the midcourt logo to Jason Dudley. Not his territory, so he's bailed out by John Ingram with a handoff. Ingram loses his handle. It's stolen away, then ripped back by Cam Ferguson into the paint. Skipped to the left corner. Dudley for three. Too strong on the shot attempt, but a foul called on the shot, and Jason Dudley will go to the line to shoot three, as it was a little aggressive on the box out by Keontae Pines. 3 free throws on the way for Jason Dudley and the Pacers, but a timeout on the floor first. 4-3, Huntingdon ahead on the road here at the Herm. 15-19 left in the first half. Exiting the timeout, 15 minutes, 19 seconds remain in the first half of action here at the Herman Athletic Center. The 5 taking the floor for the Pacers as Jason Dudley gets set for 3 free throws following the foul on his three-point shot attempt from the near corner. Are Smith Gupton, Trey McClain in the backcourt. Jason Dudley, Maurice Kennedy sees his first minutes of the contest. And Paul Dunlap, as Dudley fires up his first, it rolls off the front of the rim and in. Just Dudley's 16th free throw attempt of the season. That's his 10th make, so just over a 60% shooter from the line. Nothing but net on the second, makes it 5-4, a 1-point lead for William Peace, and their first of the afternoon. Dudley's third of 3 on the way, and it rattles through. Good use of the opportunity. 6-4 Pacers lead as Huntingdon inbounds the basketball. Charvez Hobson joined by B.J. Barker in the backcourt to bring it forward. Over to the right wing, Damian Madison drives and has it ripped away. Dudley there for the steal, pushing it forward. Kennedy can't keep a hold of it, and it's stolen back by Huntingdon. Pro step, leaning left and banking it in is Charvez Hobson. Nice move on the layup in transition to make it tied at 6. Huntingdon after the basket. 14:45 remaining in the first. Trey McClain struggles to get across midcourt, but does for the Pacers in their all-whites. Gives to the right side. Gupton hands off to Dudley. Back to Gupton now on the left wing. His three-point shot up and off the right side of the rim. Long rebound attempt by Dudley as he smacks it away and commits the personal foul. He was battling with B.J. Barker for the board and bodied up his man to give it back to Huntingdon. So Dudley commits his first personal. That's the first team foul on William Peace here in the first half, about 5.5 minutes in. Tie game at 6. B.J. Barker, the freshman point guard out of Montgomery, Alabama, brings it forward for Huntingdon. Gives to the top of the circle where Scotty Chadwick, the senior forward, has just checked in. Swung around to the left side to Chadwick on the left block against Dunlap. Spins to the left, banking it in from a tough angle. 8-6 on Chadwick's first bucket of the evening, and it's 8-6 with 14 minutes remaining in the first half. Dudley with a crossover makes his way across the midcourt logo for the Pacers. Gaylord, top of the circle, drives left. Dunlap open for 3 in the left corner. Off far side of the iron, tipped away to the near corner by Mikhail Gaylord. And it's out of bounds, last touched by the Pacers. Gaylord pleading that he was not the last to make contact with the basketball. But instead it will go back to Huntingdon. And the Hawks retain possession with 13 minutes, 45 seconds remaining in the first half. Barker across the timeline against Gaylord, picks up his dribble early, hands off to Chadwick against Bryant. Dribble behind the back, floater in the lane, off balance. It rattles off the far side of the rim, boarded by Mikhail Gaylord, who's immediately shoved to the ground. And a foul called against Scotty Chadwick of the Hawks. Basketball goes back to William Peace. Clock stops at 13:32. And Huntingdon again with the full court pressure. Don Tyrell inbounds it, skips it to Mikhail Gaylord. He's doubled, dribbles behind his back, has it knocked away, and it's stolen. The Hawks come away with it, but it's batted around and back into the hands of Mikhail Gaylord in the backcourt. Sprinting, he's doubled as he reaches the front court. Hands off to Smith Gupton in the right wing. Now back up top of the circle. Ferguson for 3, and it's in. Cashes in on his first attempt from deep of the afternoon, and it's 9-8. Pacers lead by 1 with 13 minutes remaining until the half. Madison. It's a high screen, dribbles to the left, gives to Chadwick, now in the arms of Barker. He penetrates left side, back out to Chadwick, who catches and fading away, buries the 3 from the left wing against Trey Bryant to make it 11-9, a 2-point Huntingdon advantage. Pacers get it quickly into Mikhail Gaylord. He breaks the press, goes to the left side, pump fake, dribble, 3-point shot from Ferguson off the far side of the rim. Tyrell skies in for the rebound to Gaylord, back to Tyrell for 3 from the right side. 12-11, a 1-point Pacers lead, and this thing has picked up in a hurry. 12:20 remaining in the half. B.J. Barker gets a high screen, crosses over, but has it ripped away by Gaylord. Bounce pass forward, as he overthrows at the near sideline Cam Ferguson. It skipped across midcourt and just out of the reach of the Pacers' sharpshooter to go out of bounds and give it back to Huntingdon. So now Kennedy checks out. John Ingram back into the contest for the Pacers. Smith-Gupton out, Paul Dunlap out, Trey Bryant re-enters as well. And Huntingdon will inbound the ball at the near sideline. Lucas Schmidt, the junior, on the inbound pass, gets it into the backcourt to James Harris to run the offense. The sophomore out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Chest pass to the right side, Chadwick. Hands off, Aaron Washington drives left side, has it swatted away. The layup attempt by Trey Bryant, but body contact forces the foul call against Bryant. And a couple of free throws on the way for Aaron Washington, somebody that if you're the Pacers, you definitely don't want to send to the free throw line. He is a true shooter in the purest sense. Over 40% from three, although I will say only about 60% from the free throw line. So a couple of free throws on the way for Washington, but not before a timeout on the floor. 11 minutes, 59 seconds remain in the first half here at the Herm. Your score, the William Peace University Pacers 12, Huntingdon Hawks 11. Just under 12 minutes to play in the first half. Pacers with a 12-11 lead over the visiting Hawks of Huntingdon. And two free throws on the way for Aaron Washington, the junior out of Sterrett, Alabama. It'll be his first attempts of the afternoon, just under 60% from the stripe on the season. As he steps up, buries the first to tie things at 12. Washington second, up and in, a late substitution. Hits midcourt as Mikel Woods comes in to replace Lucas Schmidt. Woods, also a freshman, starting. And Schmidt, at the second he gets back to the bench, instructed to replace Scotty Chadwick. So Chadwick is the one who exits for Huntingdon as the Pacers inbound it. Down by one against this full court press. Tyrell gets it to Gaylord. One-handed left-handed pass to the near sideline to Tyrell. He sprints toward the basket and lays it in softly with his left off of the window. 14-13. Tyrell's first bucket makes the Pacers ahead by one. 11:35 to play in the first half. Up top, Schmidt dribbles to the right side. Handoff on the wing. Back up top, Mikel Woods. Huntingdon does a great job inside outing its bigs and using them. To the left side, Harris gets a screen from Woods, drives, dishes to the right side, and a three-point shot from Washington goes off the far side of the rim. Pacers with the rebound to Ferguson in transition. Stutter step outside the three-point line, penetrates and goes outside to Don Tyrell. Fakes a pass underneath, goes up top, Ferguson, no room to shoot the three as he picked up Mikel Woods, the oversized defender, and dribbles to the corner where he's fouled immediately, tripped up by Damian Madison. As the Pacers retain possession, Madison checks out. Isaiah King, the senior, back in at point guard for the Hawks, and Trey Bryant hesitantly walks off the floor as well, as Paul Dunlap will give him a breather for the Pacers. 11:06 until the break. 14-13, William Peace lead. Inbound goes outside the three-point line to Dunlap. He hands off to Gaylord. Left side, Ingram for three. Nothing but the bottom of the net. The freshman makes it 17-13. Pacers ahead by 4 with under 11 until the break. Harris, crossover from left to right. Drives from behind, though, is swatted away his shot. and out of bounds. Last touched by Paul Dunlap, who will get credit for the block. And the Pacers will have to D up in their own half court after the good defensive play. James Harris on the inbound pass from the right block. Skips it to the right wing. Washington drives. Hawks get it out to the perimeter and swing it around to the right side. Harris, one dribble inside the three-point line, takes the tough 15-footer, and it rattles off the rim, rebounded by Camden Ferguson, and a handoff to Mikael Gaylord as he makes his way into the front court to run the offense. Handoff to Ingram on the right wing. Switching defenders, he's now against Harris, crosses through his legs, hands off to Gaylord at the midcourt logo to reset things. 12 on the shot clock. Gaylord against Schmidt, picks up his dribble at the elbow. Up top, Dudley looking for Ferguson, hands off, 4 to shoot for the Pacers. Ferguson heaves one up desperately from the top of the circle, and it sails out of bounds. Shot clock violation before it reaches the baseline, and the turnover gives it back to Huntingdon. Very physical defensive set by the Hawks. Forces the TO with 10:06 to play in the first half. 17-13. Pacers remain ahead by 4. James Harris and Trey Livingston up the floor to run the offense. Harris back and forth, gives to King. Strong crossover at the elbow. King frees himself some space and buries the mid-range jumper. Tough go for the defender John Ingram, and it's 17-15. Pacers ahead by 2. Gaylord, quick pass to the left wing. Long on the three-point shot attempt is Gupton, but a rebound by Jason Dudley. Dribbles out to the wing, picks up his dribble, nowhere to go. He's eaten up by Mikael Woods, zips it up toward midcourt, and Smith Gupton catches the pass but commits an offensive foul. Used his arm to try and shove the defender King away. Couldn't get away with it that time. That's his first personal foul, and it gives it back to Huntingdon with 9:23 until the half. 17-15. Pacers ahead by 2. Team foul number 3, by the way, on William Peace. Jacob Champion, the junior, on the inbound pass here at the near sideline. Has Gupton jumping in front of him, skips it backward into the backcourt to Harris as they'll clear out the rest of the defense. Harris against Kennedy. Dribbles to the left wing. They swing it around to the right side. King dribbles twice, step back, tries for the long bank 2, but it's off the far side of the rim, rebounded by Gupton, and now down the far sideline. Kennedy gives a pass towards center court to Trey McClain to run the O. High screen on the right side. Dudley picked up dribble and a pass to Gupton on the left. Penetration out to McClain. Long on the three-pointer. It's off back iron and pulled in by Harris. Here come the Hawks. Harris looking to take it all the way himself. Gets into the lane. Goes out to the right corner. 3 hit by King as he was wide open in transition. And it gives Huntingdon a 1-point lead. 18-17 with 8:30 until halftime. McClain trapped at midcourt. Bounces it to the elbow where Dudley puts up the long 2, and it's off the back of the rim. Rebounded by Mikael Woods. Harris again in transition, looking to take it himself. Some boomerang action on the dribble. Went inside out against his defender and is knocked to the ground on the foul by Trey McClain. McClain's first is William Peace's 4th of the first half. 8:19 to play until the break. Inbound goes to Livingston in the corner. Up to Harris, now to the same corner where King gives it into the post on the block to Livingston. Backing down Bryant. Offensive foul before he spins toward the basket. And Livingston a little too aggressive. He's a broader guy than Trey Bryant, but I don't know if he's quite stronger. And he doesn't get away with trying to be the bully in that instance. Livingston's first foul, team 6th on Huntingdon, so one more, and the Pacers will be shooting 1-1 with 8:06 left in the first half. Bryant on the inbound pass against full court press. Bounces to McClain against Barker. McClain seemingly had a window, got by him enough to get to midcourt and break the press. Gets 2 high screens on the left side, dribbles to the wing, picks up, bounces underneath on the left block. Bryant going to work, spinning away, dumps it in from 10 feet out. Nice shot for Trey Bryant's first basket, and it's 19-18. 7:40 to play in the first half. Barker passes to the left side, nearly stolen away by Trey Bryant. Long three from King in the left corner is off the back of the iron. A whistle blown as a body hit the floor. It was Maurice Kennedy on the rebound attempt. And again, a foul called against Livingston. Looked to me lazily not moving his feet on a box-out attempt and rather shoving the smaller opposing player to the ground. It'll give it back to William Peace with 7 minutes, 33 seconds left in the first half. Pacers lead at 19-18. Timeout on the floor here on the Pacers Sports Network. Pacers 19, Hawks 18. 7.5 minutes to play in the first half. Claude Shields sends out the 5 of Trey McClain, Trey Bryant, Jason Dudley, Maurice Kennedy, and Smith Gupton as McClain walks all the way to the other side of the floor to shoot 1-and-1 following the foul on Trey Livingston. It was his second, team 7th on Huntingdon. So 1-and-1 for Trey McClain of the Pacers as his first is up, sticks to the right side of the rim, and falls through to make it 20-18. Pacers in the lead. McClain, a 76% free throw shooter on the season, fires up his second. It's off the front of the rim. Rebounded by Jason Dudley, who zips it quickly back out to McClain to the right wing. 3, Maurice Kennedy cashes in, and it's 23-18 now. Pacers ahead by 5 with 7:20 left in the half. B.J. Barker across midcourt for Huntingdon. Gives up top. Pass stolen away. McClain and Bryant all alone in the front court. And McClain just lays it in easily with his right from the left side of the basket to make it 25-18. McClain back on defense, smacks the floor as he looks to face the freshman point guard, B.J. Barker. Huntingdon goes to Champion on the left wing. They swing it around right. King against Kennedy. Fakes right, drives left, puts up an awkward layup attempt from the left side of the basket. It sails over the rim and is boarded by Kennedy. Outlet to McClain. Quick chest pass to Gupton is bobbled and stolen away by Champion. Now Huntingdon with it. He overheads the pass across midcourt, and it's out of bounds. Sloppy play, but very, very physical play from both teams. So if nothing else, the effort is there on both sides as the Pacers inbounded in their own backcourt. McClain across midcourt. Lofts a pass to the elbow to Jason Dudley, and they skip it back to McClain to reset the offense and escape the double team at midcourt. Gets a high screen, dribbles to the left. Now back towards center court to Kennedy. Over to the right side. Ferguson for 3. It's off the near side of the rim, but a whistle blown and a foul called. I began to think it was on the shot because Ferguson's shot was tightly contested. Instead, it's offensive against Jason Dudley. His second, team 5th, and it gives it back to Huntingdon as Dudley will have a seat. Don Tyrell back into the contest, accompanied by fellow starting freshman John Ingram, who gives Maurice Kennedy 5 on their ways in and out. Inbound for Huntingdon with 6:10 until the half. Goes back to B.J. Barker, and the defense clears back. Against McLean, Barker looking left, deals right side. Top of the circle is Keontae Pines, team's leading scorer so far this season. Swinging around the perimeter, 10 to shoot for Huntingdon. King spins at the top of the key, goes to the right corner. Madison in traffic, bumped by Tyrell, and gets the layup to go. 25-20, and a chance for one more for Huntingdon as Damian Madison with a smooth move in the lane, driving baseline, gets the basket and the harm. Madison averaging just under 6 points per contest, 72% free throw shooter, clangs it off the back of the iron, and the rebound bounces to the near sideline where it's ripped down by Trey McLean. Keontae Pines was there as well. And it remains with Huntingdon. I believe McLean may have had a foot out of bounds, is the call. Instead, no, check that. It'll be Don Tyrell charged with the foul, his first, team sixth, and that gives it back to Huntingdon. Barker on the inbound just in front of the Pacers bench. Bounced to the top of the circle. Madison driving again. Pump fake at the left block, but he traveled. Tried to get his defender Tyrell in the air. It was unsuccessful, and I think that caught him off guard, so he took an extra step and turns it over. So the Pacers now on the inbound pass. Tyrell, inlet to Gaylord, back to Tyrell, and then Gaylord once more to break the press and get into the front court. Right wing, Ferguson catches, looks underneath, finds Bryant on the right block. To the opposite block, the pass is there, he was open, but it's bobbled by Don Tyrell, and it rolls out of bounds at the baseline. Turnover by William Peace with 5:20 to play in the half as they lead by 5. Huntingdon bringing it up the floor. It's B.J. Barker again against Gaylord. Test pass to Pines, top of the circle. Now Madison on the right wing. Crosses from left to right. Gives Pines with the three at the top of the key. It's off the right side of the rim. High rebound obtained by Don Tyrell. Outlet to Gaylord to the left corner. Trey Bryant, too strong on the three. It skips over the cylinder, but Don Tyrell was shoved underneath the basket and hits the deck, courtesy of Damian Madison, who's called for the foul. That's his second, team 8th, and Don Tyrell will go to the free throw line. Right around 75% free throw shooter on the season in his first year in the Pacers colors. Today happens to be their all whites with black and green accent. William Peace ahead by 5 as Tyrell's first is up and hits the bottom of the net. Sails through to make it 26-20. William Peace with the lead. Just under 5 minutes to play until halftime. Tyrell again 75% on the season, gets a second, tosses it up, and that drops in. 27-20. Huntingdon inbounds it. Harris there to play point guard. Gives to Barker on the far sideline. He bounces it at the into the front court, and it's stolen away by Bryant. Pacers now with it. Bounce to the right wing. Gaylord gives to the right wing. Screen from Don Tyrell. Three tossed up by Cam Ferguson off back of the rim. Washington with the rebound. He's all alone in the front court for the Hawks, and he banks it in. Stepping through 3 Pacers defenders in transition. Gets the 2 to go for Huntingdon and makes it 27-22. William Peace with the lead and a timeout on the floor. 4 minutes, 28 seconds remaining in the first half, and a 30-second timeout called by Caleb Kimbrough, the head coach of Huntingdon, looking for its 7th conference win of the season, but they've got some work cut out for them. 27-22 is the Pacers' lead. This will constitute as the media timeout as well, according to officials' ruling, but we still have 30 seconds from the 4-minute mark. Both teams are ready to, 30 seconds from the 4-minute mark. Both teams are ready to, 30 seconds from the 4-minute mark. Both teams are ready to, 30 seconds from the 4-minute mark. Both teams are ready to, 30 seconds from the 4-minute mark. Both teams are ready to, 30 seconds from the 4-minute mark. Both teams are ready to, 30 seconds from the 4-minute mark. Both teams are ready to, 30 seconds from the 4-minute mark. Both teams are ready to, 30 seconds from the 4-minute mark. Both teams are ready to, 30 seconds from the 4-minute mark. Both teams are ready to, 30 seconds from the 4-minute mark. Both teams are ready to, 30 seconds from the 4-minute mark. Both teams are ready to, 30 seconds from the 4-minute mark. Both teams are ready to, 30 seconds from the 4-minute mark. Both teams are ready to, 30 seconds from the 4-minute mark. Both teams are ready to, 30 get back into it after a 30-second timeout, but this will serve as the media timeout, so it'll be longer. So because it is within 30 seconds of the 4-minute mark, this is the final media timeout of the first half with 4:28 until the break. Pacers ahead by 5. And on the floor, awaiting their foes, the Huntingdon Hawks. It'll be Don Tyrell accompanied by Mikhail Gaylord in the backcourt. Tyrell to inbound it with Keontae Pines in his face at the baseline. Tyrell steps down the baseline and bounces it into Gaylord. Back to Tyrell. In stride across midcourt. He bounces top of the circle. Gaylord, left side. Ingram. Tyrell cutting at the top of the key. Catches and is fouled by Pines. And he'll go to the free throw line again. Team foul number 9 on Huntingdon. So another sequence of 1-and-1 at the stripe for Tyrell. For Pines, that's his second personal. And he'll check out in favor of Michael Woods, who immediately gets set up at the bottom block in trying to rebound this free throw attempt in case Tyrell misses. 2 for 2 so far today, 75% on the season. His first hits the backside of the rim and careens through. 28-22, a 6-point lead for the Pacers, 4:17 until half. Hesitation in giving the basketball back to Tyrell for the second free throw. Not 100% sure what the holdup was, but Tyrell catches and delivers on his second. He's now 4 for 4, and it's 29-22, 4:07 to play in the first half. Harris gives to the left side, back to Harris. Pull-up jumper from B.J. Barker is off the near side of the rim, but skying inward is Chadwick. He reels it in and banks it in from the opposite block for 2. 29-24, Pacers ahead by 5 as Gaylord dribbles into the front court. Bounces to Camden Ferguson in the left corner. Back to Ferguson. Too strong on the three-point shot attempt. It's off the back of the iron. And Woods tips it out of bounds, trying to pull in the rebound. As it stays with William Peace, Ferguson will be the inbounder for the good guys from underneath their own basket. Tyrell cutting. Not open, though. Gaylord comes to get it in the near corner, and it's bounced to the point guard. Back up top to McLean. Right side, Dunlap catches, sets a high screen for McLean. Dribbles to his left, gives left side to Ferguson. Through his legs after the pump fake against Michael Woods. Is bailed out by Gaylord, then back to the midcourt logo with 10 on the shot clock. Trey McLean has it. Chest pass to Gaylord, back to the right side. McLean catches at the three-point line, drives through the lane, puts up the floater. It's off the far side of the rim, but a foul called as it's charged to Scotty Chadwick of Huntingdon. Team foul number 10, but in the act of shooting was Trey McLean, so it doesn't matter. He'll get 2 free throws either way. Clock stops at 3 minutes, 14 seconds on the clock, and McLean's first of 2 is up. A correction on the foul call. It's against B.J. Barker, not Scotty Chadwick. That's his second.
34. 34 was the foul. 34.
And they'll reverse it once more. So 34, it was against Scotty Chadwick. B.J. Barker joins Chadwick on the bench regardlessly. Isaiah King comes and grabs him to give him a breather with 3:14 remaining. McLean's second. Thuds off the front side of the rim, no good, and rebounded by Harris. Here comes Huntingdon, down by 5. 29-24 advantage for the Pacers. Harris from the right wing gives it to the top of the circle to Woods. Handoff on the left side. Washington, pump fake on the 3, penetrates. Has it ripped away, and Trey Bryant comes away with it for William Peace. Into the front court, he hands to Gaylord, and William Peace will slow things down. With the junior point guard from Durham. Double screen up top. He dribbles to the left and is now mismatched on Mikel Woods, the post player. Bounce to the left baseline. Bryant spins, pulls up from 15 feet. It skips off the front side of the cylinder and over into the arms of Woods, and the outlet pass to Harris starts the offense for Huntingdon. He drives from the left side, contact made, and a foul called against Mikkel Gaylord on the floor. That's number 7. So Harris will have 1-1 at the stripe, as it's Mikkel Gaylord's first personal foul with 2 minutes, 28 seconds remaining in the first half of action. 30-24 the score. Pacers ahead by 6. Harris sends up the first after he spins the ball on his fingertips and buries it nothing but net. 6 points per game. 55% free throw shooter is James Harris, the sophomore guard, making his 18th start of the season. He gets his second free throw. It's up, and it rolls through to bring it within 4. Dudley on the inbound pass from the baseline for the Pacers. Gets it to Gaylord, floated back to Dudley on the far sideline. Tries a bouncer to the right wing to Smith-Gupton, but it's kicked away and out of bounds. Back to the Pacers it goes in their own front court with 2:19 left in the half. Gaylord on the inbound pass at the far sideline. Zips it to the top of the circle. Bryant against Woods. Nearly loses his handle. Comes away with it and hands off to Gaylord to reset things. 14 on the shot clock. 2:07 to play in the first. Lazy pass by Gaylord. Intercepted by Charvez Hobson. But Gaylord catches up with him in transition and commits the personal foul to prevent an easy basket. Gaylord's second. And it's ruled that it was in the act of shooting, so Hobson will get a couple of free throws with 2:02 until the half. 30-26 the score. Pacers ahead by 4. Hobson set at the free throw line, just a 28% free throw shooter. Buries the first. Unusual wide off-balance stance with his left foot opened backward by about a foot. Spins it and puts up his second. 2 for 2 in the trip. Not bad for a 28% shooter, and he reels it within 2. Under 2 to play in the half. Bryant and McLean break the press. McLean, center of the court, wide open. Bryant as the streaker throws it down with the right-handed hammer. 32-28 and a 4-point lead for the Pacers. 1:40 until the break. Driving baseline, King zips it out to the left wing. Wide open for 3 is Harris, and it funnels through to bring it within 1. Good answer by the Hawks as the Pacers break the press with Jason Dudley entering the front court. Picks up his dribble, goes to Gupton on the left wing. That 3 rattles in. 35-31, an answer from deep for the Pacers, and a timeout called with 1:19 left in the first half. William Peace ahead by 4 here at the Herm. Quick timeout called following the three-point make by William Peace. 79 seconds remaining in the first half as Huntingdon inbounds the basketball. Harris crosses midcourt at the near sideline and now holds up at midcourt to run the offense. Bounces it to the right elbow. Mikel Woods gives a high screen on the perimeter to Washington. They zip it back around to the left side. Harris penetrates out to King. Puts it on the floor, out to Woods. 6 to shoot. Washington from the right side, too strong on the three-point shot attempt. And Dudley, as he was pulling in the rebound for William Peace, is fouled by Charvez Hobson, which means free throws all the way at the other end of the floor for Jason Dudley as the clock stops at 51 seconds remaining until half. Pacers ahead by 4, 35-31. Jason Dudley has had a couple of free throws so far this afternoon and delivered on those as well. He's a 60% shooter from the stripe on the season as his first. Clangs off the right side of the basket. Mikel Woods checks out. Scotty Chadwick back in with a couple of fouls for Huntingdon. Dudley trying to make good on his second of two as the Pacers lead by 4, under a minute until the half. Long off back of the iron, pulled in at the free throw line by Huntingdon. It's Aaron Washington who gets the outlet to James Harris to run the offense. 20 seconds, the difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Washington from the right corner, drives, overheads it up top, now to the right side. Chadwick for 3 on the right wing. It rolls in and brings it within 1, 35-34. McLean quickly into the front court for the Pacers against Isaiah King. Cornered at midcourt here at the near sideline. Dribbling with his right. 2-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. 12 to shoot for the Pacers. 9 on the shot clock. McLean dribbles to the right. Gives to Dudley in the right corner. 3, bang! Jason Dudley makes it a 4-point lead. 2 to shoot. Washington from midcourt heaves it up, and it's off the back of the rim and out. A 4-point lead into the half for William Peace University on the Jason Dudley 3. He's had success from each corner earlier in the first half. He shot a 3 from the left corner, didn't make it, but got fouled and made all 3 free throws. That time, nothing but nylon on the attempt for Dudley, and it's 38-34 at the break. 4-point lead for William Peace with another half of basketball to be played here on the Pacers Sports Network.
Yeah. They either whip them.
Just about time for the second half here at the Herman Athletic Center. Darren Vaught with you on the Pacers Sports Network. Appreciate you joining me. 38-34, a 4-point Pacers lead at the break, as not a single scorer is in double figures. And we switch sides of the floor. Pacers in their all whites. We'll toss it in at the far sideline right at midcourt. Don Tyrell on the inbound pass. Starters back out for the Pacers as he's joined by Mikal Gaylord on the receiving end of the pass in the backcourt, who's doubled by Mykel Woods, and James Harris of Huntingdon, forced to bounce it out off of Harris's leg and out of bounds here at the near sideline, banging the ball up against the scorer's table. Now Camden Ferguson will inbound it just in the front court. 19:52 to play. 8-second runoff on that one. Bounced high at midcourt to Trey Bryant. He reels it in and hands off to Cam Ferguson against Woods. Gives to the right side. Ingram on the elbow. Penetrates left side. Deals to Gaylord on the wing. Patiently looking for something underneath. Gaylord skips it to the right corner. Ingram's three. A line drive up the front of the rim. And Harris comes away with the rebound for Huntingdon. Taking it all the way himself. A handoff underneath intended for Pines, but stolen away by Mikal Gaylord. Quickly gets it to Cam Ferguson. Misdirection at the wing. Picks up his dribble on the right side and gives towards center court to Mikal Gaylord to reset the offense. Floats it to the elbow. Bryant catches. No dribble yet against Mykel Woods. Back up top. Mikal Gaylord's three-point shot attempt skips off the near side of the rim. Rebounded by Huntingdon. Quick move up the floor. King inside the three-point line. Gives out to Livingston. Back to King on the left wing against Ingram. No dribble, and he passes back toward midcourt for Harris to reset the O. Livingston, top of the circle against Bryant. Dribbles left. Hand off to King. They swing it right side. Bounced underneath on the opposite block to Livingston. He's looking outside. Now backing down his man, Bryant. Goes up with the shot. Bryant thought he was straight up, but is called for the foul. With 18:37 to play in the second half for Trey Bryant, that's his second personal foul. First team foul of the second half for William Peace. And Trey Livingston goes to the line looking for his first points of the evening. That was his first shot attempt in 6 minutes played. Livingston's first is up and rips the bottom of the net. The senior big man, a 57% shooter from the free throw line, makes it 38-35 and a chance for one more. Two dribbles, a spin off of his fingers, puts it up off the back of the rim. It's batted away out toward the perimeter and eventually reeled in by John Ingram. In transition, Gaylord to Ferguson. The three skips over off the near side of the rim, and the rebound pulled in by Mykel Woods of Huntingdon. 3-point lead. Huntingdon now with it, moving from right to left. They swing it to the right wing. King dribbles inside to the free throw line. Out to Keontae Pines. Their leading scorer, still looking for his first basket of the day. Bricks the three, but a long rebound pulled in by Harris, and another chance for Huntingdon. Lofted pass to the right block. Livingston squares up to the basket. Now backing away. Bryant zips it out to the left wing. King drives, goes up, bumped in the hip, and the mid-range jumper falls in. A chance for a three-point play by Isaiah King, and a chance to tie it up for Huntingdon as Smith-Gupton comes in and will grab John Ingram prior to the free throw. King now with 7 and a chance for his 8th for Huntingdon. Averages just over 10 per game. He's a 53% shooter at the stripe. His lone attempt with 17:53 left. Rolls in off the front side of the rim. It looked short, but he gets it to go and ties it up at 38. Gupton and Tyrell back and forth, break the press. Tyrell drives left side, dishes to the near corner, and draws a foul, or rather is charged with a foul as Trey Livingston, the big guy, draws the charge. Tyrell checks out, Camden Ferguson out as well. Back in come Jason Dudley and Trey McLean for the Pacers. 38-38, 17 and a half minutes to play here at the Herm. Harris across midcourt. 1-3-1 defense being applied by the Pacers. Hawks swing it out to the left side. Livingston gives back toward midcourt. Harris drives, hits on the block. Livingston, who has it knocked away as he goes up for the shot, and stolen by Mikal Gaylord. Bounce pass to the left wing. Gupton spins on Livingston, bounces it to the block. Bryant falling away, puts it up with one hand. It stuck to the front of the rim and fell outward, rebounded by Huntingdon. Here comes Harris, pull-up jumper from 15 feet off the front of the rim. Rebound and the putback by Keontae Pines. His first basket of the game is the leading scorer on the season for the Hawks. 40-38 in transition. Pacers go on the block to Bryant. Wide open, streaking toward the basket is Dudley, but the layup is off the left side of the rim and rebounded by Huntingdon. So they get it to Harris to reset the offense. Hand off to Pines on the left wing. Woods now with it up top against Dudley, waving it high above, and hands off to King. Stutter step. King pulls up, floater from 15 feet, rolls in and out. Trey Bryant with the rebound and a handoff to Gaylord. Pacers moving from left to right. One-handed pass from Bryant to the right wing. McLean looks for Bryant on the roll. Instead goes out to the left wing. Gupton on the three-point shot attempt, but it does not count. And a foul called underneath the basket against Trey Livingston. He and Jason Dudley were vying for position, and Livingston pulled on the jersey of Dudley. At least that's the call. He walks to the Huntingdon bench shaking his head as 3 substitutions take the floor. Livingston, King, and Woods are off as Barker, Madison, and Hobson take the floor once more for Huntingdon. The Hawks on a 6-0 run to begin the second half. Pacers still without a basket in the second stanza. Dudley receives the inbound pass. Hands off to Smith-Gupton. Crosses from left to right at the top of the key. Gives to McLean. 6 to shoot for the Pacers. Driving left side. Bounces it on the baseline. Bryant out to the left wing. Long three-point shot attempt. Air balls from the hand of Gupton. And the shot clock expires. Dudley was there to catch it and try a tip in, but he was a little too late on the catch and release. Back to Huntingdon, the basketball goes, as it's 40-38 in favor of the Hawks. Pacers trailing by 2. First media timeout of the second half. 15:51 to play here at the Herm. exiting the media timeout. Pacers with a couple of turnovers here in the second half. Scoreless for the last 4+ minutes. And Huntingdon on the inbound pass. 40-38, 2-point deficit for William Peace. As Hobson deals to the left wing and back up top now, it goes to Harris for the Hawks. 15 to shoot for Huntingdon. Harris barking at the official at the near sideline, nearly lost his handle. Crosses from right to left on McLean. Penetrates, back out to Keontae Pines. Long on the three-point shot attempt. And Jason Dudley skies into the paint for the rebound. Getting a quick outlet to John Ingram at the near sideline. Hitting a streaking Trey McLean. Pump fake in the lane, but he couldn't set his hind foot as he pump faked and commits a traveling violation to give it back to Huntingdon. So another Pacers turnover and another empty-handed visit to their basket. Scoreless in the last 5 minutes of game time. 15:05 to play. Huntingdon gets it across midcourt, goes to the left side. Hobson inside to Chadwick, 2 passes, and it's out to Washington for 3 on the right wing. Good positioning for Camden Ferguson, allows Paul Dunlap to get the rebound. An outlet to McLean, zipped forward to the near corner. Ingram catches and drives toward the basket. Lost his handle though, and it goes out of bounds to give it back to the Hawks. Another quick 0-point possession for the Pacers, but Claude Shields clapping and encouraging his guys. Next play, let's go. Barker across midcourt, hip checked by Trey McLean for the personal foul that will slow things down. McLean's second is the team 4th on William Peace. That's something else to watch here in the second half as time moves on. Don Tyrell checks back in favor of Jason Dudley. Tyrell actually the game's leading scorer so far, aside from Scotty Chadwick of Huntingdon. He's the only player in double figures with 10 as the inbound pass from Chadwick is stolen by Trey McLean and laid in with his right on the other side. That's a couple of offensive defensive plays by Trey McLean so far in the game, and a quick handsy foul called against the senior when he got back to defense on the other side. His 3rd personal, team 5th, and he'll have a seat in favor of Mikhail Gaylord. 14:28 to play. Tie game at 40 points apiece. Chadwick on the inbound pass just at the end of the Huntingdon bench. Overheads it to the wing. Washington catches, spins and clears space against Ferguson and deals it back up top. To the right wing, Chadwick drives, pump fakes, spins and floats it up from the right block. It rolls off the back of the rim. In transition, Ferguson to the left corner. Ingram, another line drive 3, rattles in and out. Rebounded by Chadwick. Outlet to Hobson. Handoff on the left wing. B.J. Barker's 3 off back iron, and the board pulled in by John Ingram, who touched it downward to Paul Dunlap. Gaylord after the outlet gives top of the key to Don Tyrell, who pump fakes and blows by Chadwick, who has to foul from behind on the layup attempt. So Don Tyrell with a couple of free throws on the way with 13 minutes, 49 seconds remaining, and a tie game at 40. Chadwick's 3rd personal, 2nd team foul on Huntingdon here in the second half. Don Tyrell with a couple of free throws on the way. He's 4 for 4 at the stripe so far, 75% leading into today's game, and his first rolls off the left side of the rim, no good. Trey Livingston back into the contest for Huntingdon. He and Chadwick both with 3 fouls, swapping places, and the game's leading scorer heads to the Huntingdon bench. 2nd free throw for Don Tyrell. Rattles off the left side of the rim. Rebound on the right baseline by Gupton, but he hit Bryant streaking, and Bryant draws the contact on the layup attempt. That time it goes against Madison. That's his 3rd as well, and the 3rd team foul against Huntingdon. Trey Bryant going to the free throw line for the first time today. He's just 2 of 6 from the field. 4 points, 4 rebounds for the double-double machine. as his first free throw sails up and in to give the Pacers a 1-point lead, 41-40, 13-45 left in the contest. Now Huntingdon in a bit of a drought, scoreless for the last 3+ minutes. Bryant to the free throw line for his second of 2, 67% on the season. The second rattles in, 42-40 Pacers lead. Huntingdon bringing it up the floor with 13:35 to play. B.J. Barker on the right wing, bounces it to Washington on the left. Back to Barker, one dribble, pulls up from the right elbow, and buries the mid-range jumper. 42 all. Gaylord receives the inbound pass, streaking all the way down into the paint himself, bounces it to the right wing. Smith-Gupton hands off to Gaylord, back to Gupton on the right wing, floated underneath off the hand of Bryant, deflected by a defender, and back out to Gaylord for 3. It's off back iron. Long rebound pulled in by Smith-Gupton, and it's back to the Pacers. Another 25 to shoot now as the shot clock ticks downward. Hand off to Ferguson on the left wing. Long bounce pass to the opposite side. Gupton penetrates out. Don Tyrell's 3. Too strong, and it bounces up and over the backboard, off the back of the rim. Out of bounds to give it back to the Hawks with 12:50 to play. Still a tie game, 42 apiece between Huntingdon and the Pacers of William Peace University. Barker and Hobson bring it up the floor. Barker walks his way across midcourt against Gaylord. Short bounce pass towards center court to Hobson. They hand off to Champion on the right wing. Bailed out by Livingston. Hand off to Barker, who drives from the left side, pulls up from about 12 feet out, off the front of the rim, ends up in the hands of Champion, who banks it in from the right side on the follow. 44-42, Huntingdon with a one-basket lead, 12:15 to play. Gaylord into some trouble. Barker and Hobson both there to trap him in the midcourt, but Barker, a little handsy, reaching in for the ball, commits the personal foul and slows things down for the Pacers offense. So Gaylord will trigger it in at the far sideline. Barker checks out. Washington out of the contest as well for Huntingdon. Harris and King both donning their white headbands back into the contest for the Hawks. Inbound goes top of the circle. Bryant hands off to Gaylord. Crossover from right to left. Bounces left side. Ingram, 2 dribbles into the block and pulls up from 8 feet out on the left side. Buries it nothing but net, and it's a tie game at 44. Under 12 to play. Hobson catches, gives to the left side. Champion dribbles towards center court, and up top to Livingston, who shuffled his feet before driving to the basket against Trey Bryant. That's not his game. A mistake by Livingston sends us into the media timeout. Tied at 44. It'll be Pacers ball. 11 minutes, 49 seconds remain in the second half here at the Herman Athletic Center on the Pacers Sports Network. Second half here at the Herm, 11 minutes, 49 seconds remain, 44 all between William Peace University and Huntingdon. As a couple of teams who ended the first half on fire have slowed down the offensive pace in a big way. Pacers with it. Gaylord dribbles across midcourt, gives to the left side of the offense, back to Gaylord. He tried Ferguson on the right side. Back to Gaylord, and he dials up a three on his own. It rattles in and out. Ingram comes away with the rebound. A lot of contact. He lost his handle, and it goes back to Huntingdon. Harris bounces to the baseline, and the pass is mishandled by Isaiah King, out of bounds. Some bodies flying everywhere, including Trey Bryant, who was there prepared for a block attempt on a layup. Had to stop himself from flying into King as Livingston checks out for Huntingdon, and Michael Woods back into the contest to put that long body in front of the inbounder, Don Tyrell, with this full court press. Inbound pass goes to Ingram, back to Tyrell, to Ingram on the far sideline, and he lost his handle on the pass attempt. Woods looked to be straight up, but is called for the foul as it was batted away and looked like it was going to be a Huntingdon steal. So Pacers retain possession in their own front court. Gaylord to trigger it in with 11:15 left. Quick sub before the pass as Jason Dudley replaces Don Tyrell, who goes to the bench and remains the leading scorer for the Pacers so far today with 9 points. Gaylord, chest pass to the top of the key. Bryant hands back to Gaylord. Quick pass to the right wing. Ferguson dribbles behind his back and gives to the corner. Gaylord, one-handed, deals up top. Ingram lost his handle again. Ferguson catches, fires it up from a long distance, and buries the three with 7 seconds still on the shot clock. It looked as if it was a desperation shot as the clock was winding down. Keontae Pines with a quick three from the left wing on the other side. It bounces off the rim to the near corner and is out of bounds. Last touched by Michael Woods, so it'll be Pacers ball as they'll have to traverse the length of the floor. 3-point lead for William Peace, 47-44. Bryant on the inbound pass gets it in to Mikhail Gaylord. 10:40 to play. Gaylord covered up by Michael Woods, bounces it forward to Bryant. Long pass to the corner. Dudley back up top. Gaylord trailing, three in. 50-44 with 10.5 to play. Pacers, a bit of a run and a bit of a rise in the Herman Athletic Center crowd. Bounce pass to Woods on the right side for Huntingdon. Hands off to King. Penetration, they swing it left side. Harris against Gaylord. Drives through the lane, lobs a pass to the right side, and is called for the offensive foul. Trey Bryant there to absorb contact on the charge. Harris's foul is the 7th team foul for Huntingdon in the second half. Still over 10 minutes to play. His first personal. Champion checks out for Huntingdon. Back in comes B.J. Barker. Dudley on the inbound. Has it knocked back toward the baseline and out of bounds. Good defense by Isaiah King off the ball to swallow up Smith-Gupton, the intended target. 10:09 to play, 50-44. Trey Bryant stuck in one place at this near corner on the inbound pass. Fakes it overhead to get Woods in the air. Gives to Gaylord. Give and go. Back to Bryant. To Ferguson for three. Pump fake. And it's in from the right wing. Camden Ferguson has caught fire, and it's a 9-point lead for William Peace with under 10 to play. Harris across midcourt against Gaylord. Gets a high screen from Woods, bounces it to the right side. Pines catches, couple of dribbles, and back to Woods at the top of the circle. 12 to shoot for Huntingdon. Dudley nearly knocks it away, but Harris comes away with it. Drives left side, pro hop on the block. Skips it up to the top of the circle. Long three for King off back iron. Harris pulls in the rebound and is bailed out on a lofted pass toward midcourt where King will reset the offense. Stutter step, dribbles to the right, dishes to the left wing. Harris waves it over his head, penetrates, kicks to the opposite corner. Barker's three. Off the far side of the rim, boarded by Pines. The putback rolls off the front of the iron. Mikhail Woods there and can't get the follow to go. Dudley with the rebound. Outlet to Smith-Gupton, pushing it forward to Gaylord. Dribbles through his legs, drives right by Pines, but can't get the righty layup to go from the left side, and it's pulled in by Huntingdon. King forwards the pass to Barker. Into the lane, Woods, extra pass to the opposite block. Caught by Pines, but a foul on the floor. Stops the clock at 8 minutes, 49 seconds remaining. Mikhail Gaylord charged with the personal. That's number 3 on the Pacers point guard and number 6 on William Peace as a team. Substitutions everywhere. Gaylord, Dudley, and Bryant come off the floor for William Peace. Tyrell, Trey McClain, and Paul Dunlap back in for the guys in white. Harris on the inbound pass underneath Huntingdon's own basket. Skips it to the near corner. Pines swings it around to the right side. King against Gupton gets a screen from Chadwick. Back out to the perimeter. They swing it out to Barker on the left side, but he dribbles to center himself up. Crossover at the top of the key. Puts up the floater from the right side, and it drops in beautifully. Nothing but net. 53-46, a 7-point lead for the Pacers still. 8:24 to play. Gupton with it on the left wing against King. Dribbles through his legs and deals a chest pass to the corner. Trey McClain steps back. 3 himself, and it rattles in. The senior. Quick down the floor like it's no big deal. 56-46 after the Trey McClain tray. 10-point lead for the Pacers. 8 minutes to go. Barker from the left wing against Ferguson, gets in the lane, spins backward and gives it to Chadwick. Overhead pass up top to Pines. To King on the right wing. Hesitation, drives right side and blows right by Smith Gupton. Claude Shields not happy about the defense there, and it's 56-48. In transition, Gupton for 3. Quick to release on the right wing, and it rattles off the near side, rebounded by Chadwick. Here comes Huntingdon. King, chest pass, left wing, wide open 3 for Harrison. It rolls through. It's within 5, 56-51. Pacers looking to answer the tempo. McClain into the front court, dribbles to the right wing. High screen on his left if he wants it from Tyrell. Dribbles, deals right side to Smith Gupton, and now they'll slow things down. Back to the midcourt logo. To the wing, Dunlap squares himself up to the basket and hands off to McClain against Barker. 7 to shoot. McClain drives into the lane, puts up an awkward layup with his right. It sails over the cylinder, air ball. Out of bounds, last touched by William Peace. Dunlap was there with one hand on the rebound attempt but couldn't squeeze it. It'll be Huntingdon ball, but not before a timeout on the floor. 7 minutes, 2 seconds remaining in the second half. 56-51, WPU's lead. Point lead for the Pacers exiting the timeout. 7:02 to play here on the Pacers Sports Network. William Peace has hit quite a run with its three-point shooting. Now 11 of 30 on the afternoon. Huntingdon with it. B.J. Barker running point guard. Gives to Damian Madison on the right side. He's had a couple of tough baskets to re-energize Huntingdon offensively today. Trap on the left side as Barker had possession and ultimately shares it with Mikael Gaylord, a jump ball, and the possession arrow lies with Huntingdon. So it stays on that side of the floor for the Hawks as they'll trigger it in front of their own bench. 56-51, 5-point lead for the Pacers. Charvez Hobson, the junior of Montgomery, Alabama, to inbound it at the end of the bench. And the shot clock clarification is that it's down to 12 seconds before the inbound pass. So Hobson now to trigger it in. Tyrell in front of him, sails it toward the block, intended for Chadwick, but it goes out of bounds. Quick and easy turnover. given to the Pacers, and now Trey McClain will inbound it from the exact same spot in front of the Hawks bench. Bounces to Mikal Gaylord against Washington. He crosses the timeline, crossing from right to left. Hands off on the right wing, skipped over to the left side. McClain penetrates, out, Ingram for three, bang! Pacers now up by 8, it's 59-51. John Ingram gets in on the three-point shooting party. And 6 minutes, 16 seconds remain. Madison drives from the left wing, loses his handle but goes up wildly and draws contact from John Ingram to receive a couple of free throws from the stripe. Clock stops, 6 minutes, 13 seconds remaining in the second half. 59-51, 8-point lead for the Pacers as Madison approaches the free throw line for just the second time today. He's 0 for 1 from the stripe from that shot attempt earlier in the afternoon. Sends up the first and it drops in, nothing but net. 59-52, 7-point difference. Madison now with 3 points on the game. Madison, a 72% free throw shooter. Set to send up his second. Nothing but the bottom of the net. 6-point lead. Inbound pass from Bryant, stolen by Washington. Gets it to Hobson. Quick to catch up is the defense. Madison receives the handoff and goes up for a layup attempt. Bodied hard by Mikal Gaylord in recovery mode after the turnover to the full court pressure. That's number 4 on Gaylord with 6:04 to play. And Madison back to the free throw line to shoot another 2. Madison, a freshman out of Montgomery, Alabama as well. Drills the first as Mikal Gaylord checks out with those 4 personal fouls. Trey McClain re-enters to run point guard for William Peace. 59-54 following the first of 2 free throws for Madison. His second is on the way and in. 70+% shooter on the season. He's made William Peace pay, hitting 4 of those last 4. Pass knocked away, out of bounds. Madison nearly comes away with the steal, sprinting toward the near sideline with 5:55 remaining in the second half. It goes out of bounds and will be retained by William Peace.
Come on, White 30.
And before the inbound pass, quick timeout called by Claude Shields as William Peace wants to circle up. Ahead by 4, 59-55. Just under 6 minutes to play here in the second half. As in the second half, the Pacers have actually shot a lesser percentage from 3 than they did in the first half, but it seems like the 3 ball has made all the difference in the world. They hit a few in a row and sprinkled them in to give themselves this cushion. They've led by as many as 10. It's now down to a 4-point deficit, 59-55. 2 or more 3-point shots hit by 3 players for the Pacers. Mikal Gaylord has hit 2 of 6. John Ingram is 2 of 4 from deep. Camden Ferguson 3 of 8. And then they've gotten 1 apiece from Jason Dudley, Trey McClain, Maurice Kennedy, Smith Gupton, and Don Tyrell Jr. So the game being played from distance by a number of William Peace University Pacers here in the second half. We saw Mikal Gaylord exit with 4 personal fouls just a bit earlier. He's the only player in the game with 4 personal. Worth noting, 3 fouls for John Ingram and Trey McClain as well. So 1 more and they would be flirting with disaster. The inbound pass following the timeout goes to the backcourt. Trey McClain crosses midcourt against Washington, who's swiping at the ball. Drives to the left side, bounces it to the wing. Ingram catches, 1 dribble, 1-handed pass underneath. Ferguson bounces it back to the block. Tyrell, strong pro hop in the lane and floats it up with his right. It rattles in to make it 61-55. Don Tyrell Jr. into double figures, the first Pacer to do so today. Very spread out scoring attack, but he's got 11. 6-point lead, 5:20 to play. Madison drives from the left wing, alters his shot, and floats it up over the rim. No good. Rebound comes down to the Pacers. McLean nearly mishandles the outlet pass, but instead reels it in and makes his way forward for the Pacers. Gives to Tyrell, back to McLean against Madison. Picks up his dribble. High pass over to the right wing. Ferguson gets it to the corner. Bryant against Chadwick. Bounces it to his streaking Trey McLean. Good layup attempt from the right side, but it's off the near part of the rim. Rebounded by Hobson. And back to the Hawks. Three-point shot attempt in transition from the right wing. Washington can't get it to go. It rattles in and out. Bryant with the rebound for the Pacers. Tyrell in the front court. Spins and falls backward into his defender, Aaron Washington. Called for the offensive foul. So now Tyrell has 3 personal fouls. Trying to push the tempo a little too much following Trey Bryant's 6th rebound of the day. And it gives it back to Huntingdon. Tyrell checks out. McLean out. Mikal Gaylord back in with those 4 fouls. And Jason Dudley back into the contest as well. He's got his forearm wrapped up. May have gotten scratched. This has been a very physical game so far. Madison gets a screen on the left side against Ferguson. Penetrates, kicks back out to Harris. Another dribble drive and back out to King on the right wing. Dribbles to the top of the key. Chest pass to the left wing and a 3-point shot attempt off the far side of the rim from Damian Madison. Rebound attempt by James Harris results in an over-the-back foul as Mikal Gaylord had position the whole time. And we'll have free throws on the other end of the floor. That's team foul number 8 on Huntingdon. So just a sequence of 1-and-1 for Mikal Gaylord. 4 minutes, 11 seconds to play. 61-55, a 6-point lead for William Peace. Gaylord, one of their better free throw shooters on the season as he puts up his first and buries it nothing but net. Gaylord right around 85% on the season from the stripe as Hobson checks out in favor of Keontae Pines, who checks back into the contest for Huntingdon, having scored just 2 points so far, 1 of 7 from the field. Gaylord's second is up and off the back of the iron. Rebound pulled in by Madison, and Huntingdon now pushing it forward. Madison with it, crosses from left to right after a high screen from Pines. Gives right side, Livingston to Harris. Back up top, Pines quick to swing it to the left side. Madison, jab step, pulls back and fires the 3. It's over the rim and rebounded after the air ball by John Ingram. Gives to Gaylord, thought about a 3 on the right wing, but instead will bridle the offense and pull back with 3:35 to play. Bryant catches at the top of the circle. 62-55, 7-point lead for William Peace. Pass to Ferguson on the right side. He bounces it to the baseline. Ingram catches, back out to the wing. Gaylord again thinks about the 3. Jab step, fires, and it's in! Nothing but net on the 3-point shot attempt. His 3rd make from deep, and Mikal Gaylord makes it a 10-point game again. Pass forward on the other side, and an offensive foul on Trey Livingston. He has played bullishly and recklessly for Huntingdon and committed a few of those fouls. That's number 4 on him. As the score now 65-55, that offensive foul sent both Trey Bryant and Mikal Gaylord flying backward. Timeout on the floor as Mikal Gaylord is slow to get up, favoring his hip. I don't think it was anything like a non-contact injury to be worried about. He's walking himself back to the bench, laughing it off, and he motioned to the team trainer that he must have just gotten an elbow to the hip or something along those lines. He seems to be okay. And Don Tyrell will check back in for the Pacers. He and Gaylord, the only 2 in double figures for William Peace, despite the fact that they lead by 10, 65-55. Gaylord, a do-it-all guy for William Peace. 10 points on 3 of 8 shooting. That's 3 of 7 from 3. He has 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, a block as well to go with that. Contributing in a lot of ways is the point guard out of Durham, North Carolina. 3 minutes, 15 seconds remaining as the buzzer sounds and we break huddles. We'll see what the injury replacement, or if there will be one for Mikkel Gaylord, is for the Pacers. Exiting the huddle, there are 4 on the floor. And now 5 with Trey Bryant, none of which is Mikkel Gaylord. Don Tyrell on the inbound, Trey McClain in the backcourt joining him to try and face this full court pressure. Bounces it in to McClain. One-handed pass to the near sideline. Tyrell dribbles across midcourt. Handoff to McClain at the midcourt logo. And now against Keontae Pines, he dribbles in this near corner. Pines, a lot of hand jabbing defensively. McClain drives left side, kicks to the corner. Tyrell dribbles back out toward the horse logo at midcourt. 3 to shoot. Ferguson receives the handoff, step back, fires from the top of the key. It's off the back of the rim. Tyrell falling to his back, gets the rebound and bounces it to the corner. Ferguson on the right wing now with this second chance for the Pacers. Hands to Tyrell, they go out to McClain to reset the offense. 2.5 to play. 17 to shoot, and a reach around foul by James Harris from behind Trey McClain. Will send McClain to the free throw line to shoot 2, as that's team foul number 10. 2:29 where the clock stops here in the second half of action, and the Pacers ahead by double figures. Trey McClain steps up to the free throw line at 9 points on the day. He's 2 of 4 from the stripe. 4 assists for the senior as well, as his first rattles in and out. Looking to be the third Pacer to reach double figures with this second of 2 free throws. As McClain sends it up, and it's in. Nothing but net. He's got 10. A 77% shooter from the stripe this season. He makes it an 11-point lead. That's the largest of the day for the Pacers.
Gotta go, attack it.
Pines the inbound for Huntingdon to B.J. Barker. Half-court trap, forces a steal. Ingram comes away with it, but he overheads the pass right back to Barker. Huntingdon now with it. Barker puts up a finger roll in the lane. Trey McClain was there. He was swallowed up by 3 defenders, but draws enough contact from McClain to force the foul and a couple of free throws. As Barker, the freshman, steps up to the line for Huntingdon. Clock stopped at 2:16 here in the second half. 66-55 Pacers lead. And Barker, with his first of 2 free throws, set to be on the way. His first of the evening, in fact, and he sends it off the back of the iron right back to himself, and no good. Ingram checks out. Mikkel Gaylord back in, so a couple of point guards in foul trouble for the Pacers. As McClain has 3, Gaylord sitting at 4 personal. Barker's second of 2 free throws is up and in to make it 66-56, back to a 10-point game. Barker, a 76% shooter on the season from the free throw line, 1 for 2 in that trip. McClain on the bounce pass gets it to Gaylord, and a foul in the backcourt. Offensively, charged to Gaylord, that's number 5 on him. He was trying to work his way through the double team, used an offhand swipe to clear some space, but it was too much contact with that offhand, and it's foul number 5 for Gaylord. So he exits the contest with his 5th personal foul, disqualified to enter for the remaining 2 minutes, 13 seconds. Huntingdon on the inbound. Goes up top to Washington. Harris right side, back to Washington on the left. He drives through traffic, puts it up over the rim, off the top of the backboard. Batted away on the rebound attempt, last touched by Washington. And it'll go back to the Pacers with 2:04 to play. William Peace leading by 10, 66-56. Both teams in the double bonus. In the case of fouls, handoff in the backcourt. Ferguson puts it on the floor. Heaves a baseball pass forward. Ingram, after a tip, pulls it in. Falls to his back inside the three-point line. And a timeout called by William Peace to regain themselves after clearing mid-court. So perhaps an adjustment on the clock here, we'll see, as I assume a second or two may have run off. So a timeout called by the Pacers. And Coach Caleb Kimbrough for Huntingdon is furious at the idea that they got a timeout called, because the timeout has to come from the floor. It cannot come from Coach Shields at the bench or anyone sitting at the Pacers bench. As Ingram fell to his back inside the three-point line, they awarded him the timeout. So the Pacers inbounded at the far sideline. McLean, the trigger man. Hobson waving his arms in front of him. Defensively for Huntingdon. Into Bryant. It's poked away by Hobson into the backcourt, but McLean scrambles to regain possession. Streaking down the near sideline, McLean draws contact and is fouled by Charvez Hobson, the junior. And McLean will go to the free throw line to shoot two. That's Hobson's second. And it stops the clock at 1 minute, 46 seconds. Pacers lead by 10. McLean to the free throw line yet again. He has 10 points on the day, 1 of 2 from the stripe, sends up the first, and it drops in. 11-point lead once more for the Pacers. Again, McLean, a 77% shooter on the year. Fires up his second. It rattles through. 12-point lead is the largest of the day for the Pacers, 68-56. Isaiah King, crossover from left to right, drives right side, puts up the layup attempt. Bryant came all the way from the opposite block, nearly got a hand on it, but touched hips on the layup with Isaiah King drawing the foul, and it'll go for 2 free throws for King, the senior out of Fort Lauderdale. Steps up a couple of dribbles, fires up his first, no good. 53% shooter on the season. King averages just over 10 points per game for Huntingdon, sitting right at 10 points so far today. 1 for 2 from the stripe so far. Well short, barely grazing the front of the rim on his second attempt, and falls into the arms of Trey Bryant. Skipped pass into the front court to John Ingram. He's double-teamed, overheads it to the opposite wing to Camden Ferguson to clear the way. Hand off to McLean. He drives to the left side, immediately fouled by Hobson again, and McLean another couple of free throws on the way. Clock stops, 1:18 to play. The lead already at 12 for William Peace University, who has held Huntingdon to 2 points in the last 4+ minutes of action. McLean's first, up and in. 69-56, lengthening its largest lead of the day. William Peace ahead by 13, and before the second of 2 free throws, a timeout called by the Hawks. McLean has 13 to lead the way for William Peace, though it's hardly been a one-person effort. Don Tyrell Jr. with 11, Mikhail Gaylord with 10, 9 points for Camden Ferguson on 3 made three-pointers. 8 for John Ingram, 6 for Trey Bryant and Jason Dudley both. And then Smith Gupton and Maurice Kennedy have registered 3 points apiece as well. Similar scoring breakdown for Huntingdon for the record. Just 3 players barely in double figures. Harris with 11, King and Chadwick each with 10. And a smattering of single-digit scoring performances throughout their lineup otherwise. McLean with his second of 2 free throws on the way. Pacers looking to break a 5-game losing streak if they can hang on to this 77% shooter on the season. McLean hits his second of 2, and it's a 14-point lead, 70-56. 1:13 to play. Whistles blown on the inbound pass before it could get in. A sigh and an all right given by our head official.
We want to take it over there. Hey, we're taking it out over there.
And a reset.
Taking it out over there.
of the game clock.
Hey, we're taking it out over there.
To 117.
We don't know the penalty.
So Huntingdon finally allowed to inbound the basketball. B.J. Barker loses his handle as he's met by the double team at half court. Tyrell with the steal and an immediate foul. B.J. Barker commits the personal. That is number 4 on the freshman guard for Huntingdon. .113 to play. Don Tyrell sends up his first of 2 free throws and hits it nothing but net. About a 75% free throw shooter on the season. Tyrell now with 12 points, has hit 5 of 7 today. Make it 5 of 8 as the second clangs off the back of the rim. King all alone for the rebound. Gets it to Harris. Pass to the left wing. King gives back to Harris for a long 3 at the top of the key. It rolls off the right side of the rim. Rebound attempt for Bryant, and a foul called on Keontae Pines. More free throws for William Peace on the other side of the floor. 1:02 to play, and the lead's up to 15. Like I said, if I'm not mistaken, Trey Bryant will shoot these free throws, and instead they're being rewarded to Don Tyrell. So 2 more for Tyrell, who's 5 of 8 from the stripe today, 75% on the season. Sends up his first, a lot of rotation, and it skips off the left side of the rim. No good. So the score remains 71-56. Cam Ferguson, Trey Bryant, after impressive efforts, will have a seat for William Peace. Paul Dunlap and Maurice Kennedy back into the contest prior to the second free throw. Jason Dudley sits at midcourt, assumedly to replace Tyrell, following the second, which is up and in. Makes it 72-56. Tyrell gets a breather.
1 rebound light.
And heads to the bench with 13 points for William Peace. 16-point lead. Barker catches on the left wing for Huntingdon, fires up a 3. It's off back iron. Couple of hands on the basketball, and before it's ultimately pulled in by John Ingram at the 3-point line with under a minute to play. Outlet for William Peace goes to Trey McClain. Washington takes a stab at it with his left hand. McClain pulls back, gets a high screen from Paul Dunlap, spins out of the help defender's way, drives right side, gives to the corner, touch pass from Dudley. Outside to Kennedy, whose 3-point shot attempt bangs off the bottom of the backboard and into the arms of Washington. All the way to the other side of the floor. He lost his handle. Last touch by William Peace as Dudley got a hand on it and knocked it out of bounds to give it back to Huntingdon. 26.9 seconds the clock reads. So the shot clock is turned off as Smith Gupton and Raz Walker will come back into the game. Raz seeing his first time of the evening. Ingram and McClain check out for the Pacers. Inbound pass underneath the basket. Harris gets it to the near corner. Washington fires up a 3. It hits the top of the backboard. And a late foul called on Smith Gupton in the act of shooting. So Washington will get 3 shots with the clock stopped at 24 seconds left in the second half. A slow to pass final couple of minutes here.
I don't want right here.
16-point lead, but Washington drills the first of 2 free throws as Smith Gupton receives instruction from head coach Claude Shields. Shields says, "I don't want gray hair," meaning that's a silly foul at this point in the game. Let's avoid those. Washington 2 of 2 so far from the stripe. Will send up his third. Not quite as good a free throw shooter as he is from 3 on the season. His third bangs off the back of the rim, rebounded by Kennedy and has it knocked away by B.J. Barker. Last touch by Huntingdon. So Peace will retain possession with an inbound pass at the far sideline in the backcourt. And now another substitution. DeAndre Thomas seeing his first action of the afternoon. Checks in for William Peace in favor of Paul Dunlap. Thomas, the junior out of Concord, North Carolina. On the inbound pass, gives to Smith Gupton. In stride, Gupton goes to the right wing. Raz Walker passes up the 3-point shot attempt. Pacers fans wanted him to take it with less than 20 seconds remaining. But instead, he's going to run out the clock. Passing backward to Maurice Kennedy. And the clock stopped, but it was supposed to continue running as the Pacers had possession. It will hit 0. And Jason Dudley fired up a three-point shot attempt that I believe will count at the buzzer. I don't know. Considering the stop clocked before it continued running, maybe they won't count it. Either way, it's a Pacers victory as the scoreboard reads 72-58. But the official scoring will ring up the Jason Dudley three, making it 75-58, a 17-point win for William Peace. They snap a 5-game losing streak, 3 of those coming within just a score. 3-point losses and 1 4-point loss in their last 3 defeats, including losing by 3 in their most recent one at Methodist. So they bounce back in a big way, 75-58, the 17-point victory for William Peace, led by 3 Pacers in double figures. Trey McClain, the leading scorer, with 14 points, mainly because of 7 of 10 from the free throw line. 4 assists for the senior as well, to go along with a couple of steals and a rebound. Just 1 turnover in 21 minutes of action for McClain. 13 for Don Tyrell Jr. He was 6 of 10 from the free throw line. Mikal Gaylord hit 3 3-pointers out of the 7 that he attempted and was big in a lot of ways before fouling out late in the second half. 10 points for him, 9 for Camden Ferguson, as well as Jason Dudley after that final 3-point shot. Dudley actually 2 for 2 from deep on the afternoon. 8 points for John Ingram, 6 for Trey Bryant in a low-scoring effort for him. Typically 2 of 6 from the field. He also had 7 rebounds, though, and banged down low in what was a very, very physical game. A crucial contributor for the Pacers in his 29 minutes on the floor. 3 points apiece for Smith Gupton, and Maurice Kennedy rounds out the scoring for the Pacers in the 75-58 victory. We're back at it here at the Herm on the Pacers Sports Network tomorrow. Hope you'll be with me. Again, your final score: Pacers win 75-58 over the Hawks of Huntingdon.